order the meeting of the Village of Centerwood Lake South Homeowners Association for Thursday, September the 17th, 2020. Roll call, Joe Costello.
Here.
Mary Lou Barnes.
Present.
Larry Rocco's president. Natalia Frank.
Present.
Chris Christoph is absent, and he notified us he would not be here this evening. And of course, our property manager, Randall Anderson, is present. Okay. All right, we made you president. All right. We're going to verify the minutes from the August 20th meeting. There was a few corrections made.
We can verify the proof of notice.
Well, first,
proof of notice of the meeting.
It was posted Tuesday.
Okay.
So it was a full 48 hours.
If it was posted Tuesday, yes, it
Well,
was.
it depends what time Tuesday was posted.
Well, it was posted in the
Tuesday
daytime,
at 9
so...
o'clock.
Well, when I go to work, I don't know. But
Okay. No, it was up early, I know that.
You've been doing it so much earlier lately that it was surprising that it was...
So the meeting posting has been verified, and now we'll discuss the approval of the meeting for the minutes of August 20th. There were a couple corrections made, minor. I think Natalia's doing a great job as secretary. Thank you, Natalia. And I make a motion that we approve them as they were finally written.
I second the motion.
Okay.
What the revisions were, or they...
The only thing
Well,
I would
everybody
point
got-
out is just that
It was typos and minor issues, but
Yeah,
other
like-
than that,
officers were in a lowercase instead of capital. Very simple, just minor.
That's okay, I'm
Yeah.
used to little...
okay.
the only thing
so-
I had seen was just that
But you should read
the inaccurate stuff. There's
before,
just one thing that I know is
vote.
inaccurate.
All right.
When
All right.
when it came to like the treasury report where it says office supplies, 1,500 over budget, 1,500 versus 200. That's not even accurate.
No,
The budget's not 200 a month. It's actually 3,000, which is 250 a month.
Right.
And the office supplies are not over budget. It was, all told, it's not even close to 1,500.
No, I know.
So I mean, that's just stuff like that. That's just not accurate when it's on there.
Yeah.
But it should be why you did not write to me. So we are corrected.
Well, where did you get these numbers from,
Everybody
Chris?
receiving and everybody ignoring, or what? Only Mary Lou and Mr. Rocco reading them.
Natalia?
No, I read them, but I rely on Randall to let me know if there's anything wrong, and he
Well, because
did.
I mentioned it though in an email the very next day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this was Chris projecting, but nevertheless, we can still approve the minutes based on the fact that we're going to make the change on those items. And it's concerning office rent and office supplies.
Not office rent.
Not office rent, just office supplies.
There's a couple of things.
Office supplies is what I
thought Chris was
jumped
going
out
to
to me
pick up
because
on
we had
that.
talked about it.
Well, see, I expected when you corrected them, I thought Chris would come back to you by email and agree with you or disagree, but we never heard anything further from your report. So I had no way of jumping in because I didn't know Chris's opinion.
All right, so Randall will send Natalia the items in question, and then based on those changes, subject to approval, the changes being made.
Somebody has extra pen because new two pens does not work.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Can I borrow?
Subject to
Thank you.
changes.
Ray.
Ray, what? Office supplies?
I mean, just what it said about office supplies.
Okay, subject to changes, office supplies, meeting notes are approved.
Right.
Okay.
What you say? But we discussed. We check after. I remember about office supplies. You sent everybody what is it, but it's we're paying for some program, 500 or something per month subscription. Is it not office supplies?
That's the background screening. Under a subscription now next year, we will reevaluate what subscription we need based on how many applications we did, how many background checks we actually did.
No, but did you subscribe for a year? Can we change it something if we become less
No,
people?
it's a year.
It's for the year.
It's a year.
At the end of the year, we'll have Jeannie's final total.
Yeah, but
End
if
of
we
the year.
approve two application in months, it would pay $500, almost $600 per month for two people or for one person.
What do you
no,
mean?
no.
You know how much money we are in ahead? We actually are
Yeah.
about $15,000
Where?
above what we collect.
Yeah.
Above what we're paying to the background screening
Because of
company
all the-
because of the application fees.
Yeah,
We are
the $1,000 we're
way
taking.
ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
Way ahead.
Way ahead. No, that was a good decision.
That's the whole point of the application fees.
That $1,000.
We're about $15,000 to the good right now, based on what we paid for those
All those
background
fees
screenings.
are being paid by the prospective buyers or
Yes,
renters.
yes, exactly.
At the end of the year, you'll get a report showing exactly
Where
how
we
much
stand.
money we made on this for the year.
But
And
right
believe
now,
me,
we're
it's
running good.
lucrative for us.
It's good right now.
Okay, but you'll get a report on that. All right,
President,
I'll do the president's report. As usual, we have people that I know Natalia sent emails around stating about attorney's fees. Attorney's fees are necessary. It's a necessary evil in the operation of this association. People constantly challenge us on our authority to do what's written in our documents. Randall will point it out to them. Then they get an attorney. And the attorney questions Randall. So Randall said, do you want me to do? I said, let Rawson handle it. Because if we get Rawson's services to dispute or resolve a legal challenge, they are paid by the person challenging us. I have asked Randall to make sure Jeannie sets up a separate account for funds recovered from challenges by prospective buyers or renters, so we can keep track, make sure they're being charged, and know exactly the amount that we're collecting to offset what we pay. It's not clear right now, but I spoke to Rawson. I told him this is how we want it billed, as a challenge by a prospective renter or buyer. And then Randall is going to speak to Jeannie, if he hasn't already, about setting up a separate account for those monies coming in. Our attorney's fees are nowhere near what you think they are. When we recover those funds, we just need to make sure it's black and white so everybody clearly understands it. And he doesn't charge, he actually charges less than bids that we got from other attorneys. So Natalia also mentioned lights, that we spent all this money on lighting. Now we're spending more money to replace them.
You repair them, yeah.
To repair or replace. I told Randall that we need to mark dates on these bulbs when they go in, so we can try to keep track of the number of hours and put warranty claims on ones that don't last the number of hours that they're supposed to last. I believe we're doing this now.
Yeah, I got, whenever he replaces a fixture, I've got him these stickers and a marker, so he marks the date and
Okay.
the time that he put a new one in. So we know if that one goes out, we know when it was installed.
Yeah.
so when you install a replacement fixture too, you're dating that? In other words, we have had some fixtures that were put in
Well, we can tell the
I
fixtures
don't
that
know
were
when
put
the,
in
when
because
the
they're
other,
not the
I only know
exact
the
same
ones that were put
fixtures.
in this year. When I,
I'm talking about Larry's whole deal.
Well, they're all
Replaced.
done.
They're all done. They're
Yeah.
all done. 90% of them are probably new, right? 80, 90% are new? Or are
I
they
didn't
all
say new.
Within the past 3 years, they're all done.
Yeah, so we didn't,
100%.
let's say one was put in 3 years ago and it now dies. Did we have a date when that was put in?
I asked the electrician that put it in.
Yeah, we
3
don't
years
know
ago.
about
Okay.
what, but
So-
we know this year what's been
All right,
replaced.
so may I suggest that if you're dating light bulbs when you replace them, why not date the fixture when you replace it? So we don't have to go back through
Well,
Mary Lou,
financials.
that's what we're replacing, is the fixture. It's not a bulb. It's
Oh.
not a light bulb. It's a
Oh.
fixture.
It's a fixture.
Okay.
It's an LED fixture. If
All
it
right,
goes
so that's
out,
what you're
you're having to
saying. All right,
toss
well,
that
that's
one
what I
out,
said.
put in a new one.
That's what I
Yeah.
said, so it's the fixture you're dating.
I mean, obviously, we was paying a
That was my
management company for a lot of money for not doing what they should have been doing, but Randall's taking care of
So
it.
fixtures are being dated. Okay.
Right.
All right, good. That's good, that's great.
Okay, so, you know, maintenance is a part of life. Nothing lasts forever,
Yeah.
including me, including you, including
Yeah.
Randall, Mary Lou, and Joe. We all have an expiration date. So, maintenance is acceptable as long as we're making sure that we're not paying for something that's under warranty. And like I said, starting January this year, we won't be. Because we're self-managed and it's being handled properly. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on that we need to discuss, and you know, I think that we need to save money, and we're going to get into that when we discuss the budget. The generalities of the budget, we're not getting into specifics, but as an example, we have people in here that Edva fills the doggy bags, and the next day they're all empty because we have a couple people that take them all.
They pull them all.
So if the people can't get them, and we make sure that they know they're responsible for picking up after their own pets, do like I do, get a Publix bag and use that.
Yeah.
But I don't even think we should be providing these doggy bags.
I use Ziploc bags for my cat litter,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean, they know that they have to
Seals
pick up
it,
after
it's
their
fine.
pet. The
Yeah.
matter of fact that we put bags out there and the next day they're all gone, people aren't using them anyhow.
Yeah.
so
So
one
why are we
person
spending
is-
money?
Is it one area that they're doing it, or are they doing it?
Well, it's by the canal and over on the lake near you.
So why don't we put
I
it-
watched the
A
woman.
warning sign.
No, we could put a trail camera there to see who's doing it.
Well, that's true.
They're very.
Well, I know who's doing it.
Well, have
You know.
we written her a letter?
Well, we need physical evidence of it. We need a picture of it.
Well,
Because
I
if we have
follow-
that,
I
then we
follow-
can
I
take
see
it
her
back.
walking back to her unit with bags rolled up all around her arm.
Well,
So
Well,
maybe
you're-
I'll take a picture the next
I
time
was
I
just
see
going to say, absolutely, and as the president, you have a right to open your mouth.
her. Well, I try not to get into it with this particular person
Oh,
because
okay.
we all know who it is.
Are you saying the one that's on North Saratoga by me
Yeah.
on the lakeside? Okay, I'll keep it.
I watched her sister, who lives with them, who she sends out to go back to the lake, take all the bags out of that right after Edva filled them, and then walked over to the lake and took all the bags out of that.
I'm wondering
So
if
we're
they have,
buying bags for one particular
do
resident.
they have a retail outlet or something? They need the bags.
No,
That's
they
full
were
store.
push it store. Yeah, you're right.
You know, it's amazing what people do.
Oh, God.
All right, so we're going to move on. The
POA.
POA, I don't know whether they're having any meetings yet or not.
They've indicated there will not be any meetings until this court thing is ended, and but they will possibly have one in November, because we have to do the end of the year.
Budget.
Well, that's done by, they have somebody that does that.
But we don't have a say in it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can question the items that they have,
Right, right.
Yeah.
but it's put together by the management team and also by the accountant.
Okay.
But they indicated that nothing, and the passes the applications that you've requested regarding delegates onto at the meetings, they only go out once a year. They get sent to Mr. Rocco, and at that point, we can
And
have...
last year, you may recall, Larry does, they sent him the wrong ones, and he gave it to me. I filled it out, mailed it in, and it turned out it was
So
for
we just need to make
2019,
sure we get the
not
right
for
ones.
2020. So we have to be sure when we get it,
Well,
that
the
it's for
date says-
2021.
If the date says 20, cross it out to 21. Not deal with it.
Well,
Just let me
they
know.
turned me down.
Yeah.
When they will send them?
In November, they send them out in November, okay?
Yeah, are you finished? Sorry, I wanted to ask.
Yes, I'm done.
Yeah, it's his question. We holding meetings, every association. Why they so privileged that don't have any meetings? Why it's like that? You know, we pay them a lot of money. This is what question. Why they not hold meetings? And what exactly they doing for us? You know, we really need the
The
financials.
meetings aren't an expense to deal with. I mean, no, as much as ours is not an expense. It's your time and presence, that's what it is.
Yeah, the same, but why they, what is they better that we are, that we
They
have
run,
meetings? that-
actually, they run a very good ship, okay? But the fact is, there's no way that they can have a meeting for the number of people, including delegates, as well as the directors that are appointed, to get into one confined area like the pool area down in...
Well, no, but where they had ones, when I used to go to them with Pam years ago, they had them in the big theater, shall we say, you know what I mean? It was a big room that we went to, not monthly, but the yearly.
I mean, everybody else,
And we
Joe,
were
and I
social
have to agree
distance.
with
We were
Natalia
also-
on this, and I'm not calling you. This
No,
is no slash
But
at
we
you,
could
but I'm
easily
just
be
saying
social.
Natalia's right.
Yes,
The city council can have meetings.
right.
We have meetings. Everybody in government has meetings except the POA.
Yeah, and we could be socially distanced and wear masks. You could follow the rules.
There's no place there to be socially
They can
distant.
do it at the...
No, they can't. How do you know that? You're making an assumption. You don't know that.
Well, Joe, they
They
don't make
could
an
have done
effort. They don't make an effort.
The high schools, the junior high
You don't
schools,
know that either.
the churches, all the
Well,
places
we know
where
that
we've
because
had
we
them.
No,
rented
you
the high
have a
school.
representative here that's telling you that that's
Oh.
not the truth. The truth of the matter is, the number of people that attend those meetings would require a large area, and they don't have that
How
area.
many
School
people,
hall.
where do they hold these meetings?
They could
at?
have 30, 35 people
Well,
at a meeting.
there's 38 associations, so that's at least one rep for each 38 associations.
Right.
Plus, we're allowed as owners to go if they
Absolutely,
wanted
yeah,
to. So,
right.
but
There's no restriction
I
on
Plus-
that.
figured to
plus the
seat
members
70,
themselves.
80 people, and that could be in the auditorium of any high school, junior high school church.
Or the hotel where we had our annual
Yeah,
meeting.
or the church, or a
Did you
church.
pay for that?
It could be done.
Did you pay for that?
yeah.
Yes, of
Did you
course.
pay for it?
Not a lot.
Hey, did you pay for it?
We paid for
Thank
it.
you. That's the case.
Well,
Okay?
why won't they?
Why
go
can't
away?
they pay
They don't
for
want
it?
to pay for it.
Well, then we have to demand it.
No.
They're
The
actually-
majority
Listen,
of
Joe,
the
actually-
homeowners association.
I have
I'll
to
just
stand
throw this
by the board on this one.
Yeah.
The POA happens to think they are above and beyond, and we are the peons.
Yeah, they rule the
Right.
roost.
This is their attitude. It's always been their attitude.
And
They need to get their feet on the ground and work for that money that we're paying them.
That's right.
We're working for free and we're having meetings. They get paid and don't have them.
But the thing is, how they can do it is because of COVID-19. They don't have to,
Well, we don't have to either, but we do it.
right? Because we need to.
But let me say
They
this
don't
to you.
feel
They
the
need
to.
to also.
I promise you.
The thing is,
that
they
if
can get away. They can
15
get away with it.
If 15 or 20
We can get away with it if we
homeowners
want to.
associations off a
We don't want
village, on village, if 15 or 20,
38.
well, but if a majority out of 38, if 22 or whatever you want to say, demand that there be a meeting and suggest the various churches and halls and schools where there's a room large enough to social distance,
Something
they
tells
have to
me
listen to
they
us.
don't care what we demand. They're not going to do it
But if
anyhow.
it's a majority, they have to listen.
Yeah. Well,
One homeowners association, I know, they can thumb their nose at us. But if we got,
Well, try to
So
get
why are
the
we talking
majority of these
about?
people to.
well, I've got friends in Bear Lakes Estates, friends in Bear Island, and we have good
Well,
relationships.
if you can
with the
generate
three
some
sample
sort of a
ones.
community effort to get that done,
Well, we can
God
all
bless you,
work
but
on it. All work. on
I'm just telling you that these people are used to being in the ivory tower.
Do we need to continue our time discussing this?
No.
This issue is
It's
long
something that needs
overbaked.
to be heard.
It's overbaked, Larry, and we're wasting time that we should be discussing.
We got plenty of time tonight.
No, you don't, because I don't want to waste my time here talking about this kind of
it.
nonsense.
Well-
That's because you're not interested. We are.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we get the message to them, because I'm tired of them as well. All right.
You as the president
We need
couldn't
financials
write
from
to the
them.
president of the POA and lodge an official complaint in writing.
I will.
But
That's what you could do. It's a start.
We pay a lot of money, every association pay a lot
Yeah.
of money. We expect at least we see what
To
they're
at least
really
have
doing
meetings,
for
at
us.
least-
Yeah, this idea that month after month after month, there's nothing to report from them because they're in Leisureville. All right, enough of that. We'll move on.
You know, just a minute. You make a comment like that, and you have no awareness of how large an organization they support. There are over 6,000 families that they deal with along the villages. This is not just our little enclave here in Sandalwood Lake South.
I've never heard them
Larry,
dealing
that's
with
the fact.
anybody in our association.
Listen, we are a little pimple on the ass of this association. This POA is a large organization comprised of commercial businesses and residential areas.
Joe, I could care less. They're
I'm
not
sure you
God.
can get
They're
one
not
fine.
God
Then go to the
Almighty.
damn meeting and make your point.
Well, go in place of Joe.
I will be happy to go there.
But we
meeting to go
support
to.
them
There's no meeting to go
financially.
to.
We say we pay them a lot of money.
Hey, listen.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
Which is just right.
It's enough. I will take care of it. Believe me when I
Well,
tell
lodge
you.
an official complaint. That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. We have no POA as usual. Okay, treasurer's report. I'm going to just say one thing about Chris's treasurer's report. I read it. I'm sure Natalia has read it. Mary Lou, Joe, did you read it?
I do.
I don't know where he's coming from, but he's way off base. And Mary Lou thought so as well, and she called Jeannie, and I'm going to let Mary Lou speak and give the answers to the questions that she asked Jeannie, which, by the way, conflict Chris.
Thank you.
All right.
It won't be long because I really kept it brief with her.
But what I didn't understand about these financials, these are provided by our accounting service.
No.
No,
Chris
these
did them.
are these were
The only
prepared.
one done by
The
her was the
financials?
profit
Yes,
and loss
they are
budget.
This
Well-
one here comes from
The one that says
The general
profit
ledger
and
account.
loss.
Yeah, the general ledger. That's our
the one
account.
I'm looking at.
The
okay?
monthly you're looking at.
Well, Chris's projections are the ones that
We're
I'm
talking
He's off the charts.
Well, that's what
I'm saying.
And I'd like to respond to
But
that.
there are a lot of things in here, the way this thing is set up, and I'm looking at budget items that are off, I don't know where we came up with this, where there's nothing in a budget, and we're running a $20,000 deficit. What the hell are we doing?
He's saying we're running a deficit for the past I don't know how many years.
But if you look at, for example, on water, I took the water account and I projected the water bill to the end of the year, and the cost differential that we're short comes down to like about, it looks like a big amount of money, but it comes down to about $8 a family, okay? $8. per
And
year,
that's our
per month.
biggest problem.
It is what it is, okay? But it's $8. But it's not the disaster to be able to end all. I don't know how we can control that. That's something that's not in my purview. I don't have any idea how the water authority is going to factor in a rate increase that they want. I mean, there's no way I can tell you that.
No, there's,
Well-
They're not going to tell me that.
it's
if I
not
do
going to
it.
happen. But let Mary Lou have the floor and explain the answers to the questions she got from Jeannie.
Okay, well, what happened was, after we got Chris's report, then we received, I believe a few days ago, Jeannie's profit and loss budget performance, the one page that she sent to all of us. Okay, And I had two questions from that, because when I compared Chris's opinion on certain categories and Jeannie's factual report, I called her. And then we emailed back and forth, and let me just read.
May I ask one question before you start reading? Is this the supplemental that we started?
It says profit and loss on top.
Yes, it does.
That is from Jeannie, yes, that she sent us this week.
And this is referencing what Chris is reporting.
It references how not close to going into bankruptcy we are this year. Okay, I don't know how else to put it.
Okay, no, that's okay.
Okay, all right. So anyway, here's what I had emailed her. And just briefly, I said, "Hi Jeannie, thank you for the great report. If you have time, can you simply simplify for me for Thursday's meeting? I'm trying to figure out, based on your first 8 months of the year, what our 2020 budget was for 8 months. How far over budget, bottom line, are we for those 8 months? And based on how much can we assume we will be over at the end of the year?" That was basically, I was keeping it simple. She came back to me and she said, "No problem at all. Okay. So the report that I had sent today and reattached just now is my favorite report, as it shows so much. The August 20 column, first column of numbers on your left, shows just August info. The next column shows the budget for just August. The next column, going to the right, shows how much over just August is. The next column shows January through August, total numbers. Then the next column shows the year-to-date, January through August budget. And that sounds like what you're interested in." And she said, "Then the next column shows how much over the year-to-date, January through August, is so far. And the final column is the total budget for the entire year of 2020. So, as of August 20th, we are $12,425.60 over budget so far through August. Not just for the month of August. Through August, we are only over budget $12,425.
How much? 12,000?
425.
Yeah, I'll forward all this to you guys tomorrow. I am uncertain of how many expenses are out of the ordinary that may crop up for the rest of the year, unplanned repairs that can't factor in here." So that was great. I emailed her back, thanked her, asked another question. And, all right, then she said to me, okay, hold on, anyway. Well, what she came back and said was that she, I should have it here somewhere, bear with me. What she said was basically, let's say you're going to do a major concrete repair or building repair or something this year, meaning October, November, December, and you're not budgeted for it. It's not planned. It's not in your budget. She said that will, of course, change the numbers. But if what work you're doing, you're budgeted for, or it's been planned for in operations, whatever, then that 12,000 is. Then she came back to me and she said, based on that, she gave me a figure that is where we will be for the end of the year, unless something unusual
An
comes
act
up.
of God that we can't foresee.
Right, and she said if that happened, we'd be at approximately 27,000 for 2560 would be expected net loss for the year. So 27,000 net loss for the year, not the 100,000 or whatever
Right.
Chris is saying.
And listen, unexpected, unforeseen expenditures
Stuff happens.
are why we have special assessments.
Exactly, that's why we have reserves.
And that's why we have reserves. We're
Exactly.
still contributing $8,000 every month to reserves.
Yes, yes. Now here's the other thing. So then Chris, in an email to all of us, or at least to me, and I think to all of you, he said that he expected Jeannie to raise her rates for next year, for 2021. He hadn't spoken to her yet, but he expected her to raise them, and maybe a lot. So I asked her, and she came back and she said, I was planning on keeping it the same for next year. Times have been extremely rough for so many. I am lucky to have work, so I would like to help others out. I don't ever give huge increases. I usually do 3 to 6% increase per year, but only 6% if lots of issues come up. But Randy insulates a lot of those issues from us. So 3 to 4 would be normal average. And I promise you, I won't double it in 2022 because of no increase in 2021.
That's very nice of them.
Very nice. So right off the bat, Chris's proposed budget is wrong from accounting because she will not raise our rate for next year. Okay? She will work for us for the same
He
rate.
just guessing.
Huh?
He did not say that she said. He just guessing.
Well, we're not going to pay on a guess.
No, she's not
Yeah,
guessing.
but
I'm
it's
sorry. She
discussion.
said, I plan on keeping it the
No,
same.
I-
she's saying that Chris was guessing.
Yeah, but
Guessing,
you shouldn't guess.
He did not.
That's why I contacted
We all
Jeannie.
can guess.
You don't guess on anything. You pick up the phone and call the vendor.
Yeah, Natalia, in all due respect,
Sorry, but
Chris should be in touch with Jeannie before he puts something like that up.
exactly. Before he created his 2021 proposed budget.
So,
He did roughly, просто. You know, when you do some rough, how much money you need for something, you just.
I have it in writing for
before
him
you
that
do it.
Jeannie was going to raise it a lot. And she came back to me and she is not raising it. So right off the bat, his numbers are wrong. And he needed to contact Jeannie.
The one thing that I did note in our operating expenses.
Okay, we ask him
Our
to come
insurance
back.
jumped a substantial amount.
yeah.
Well, we've been going, yes,
That
and
what?
now
Yeah,
we
just
have
make a
good
note that
news.
he
What'd you
needs
say?
to discuss
Insurance jumps.
anything with Jeannie before he puts it in writing to the
Well,
board.
we have very good news that you don't know. Can Randall tell about the,
Well, what
Or
I'm
you-
gonna say that I also
The new
spoke to
insurance.
Jeannie and she said, Larry, and I was trying to find her email here so I could read it to you, but she has an insurance company that she said she would love to put us in contact with. And it's the most fair and reputable insurance agent that she's ever dealt with, and she's been dealing with them for years, and that they feel confident that they could save us a lot of money on our insurance. So I said, send me an email, which she did, and when it comes time to renew our insurance, which that's going to be coming up before you know it, we're going to get a bid from this company.
Good.
Because we have to look at ways of cutting costs,
exactly.
not increasing assessments.
But what I'd like to
Exactly.
see us do, Larry, when we do cut costs, is that we do an allocation and increase what we're putting into reserves.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's what
Not to get
we're,
it less than
exactly. I'm not
10,000,
saying we should
rather
cut.
than 8,000 and change.
Right. I'm not saying that we need to reduce our monthly assessments, but if we save money in the right areas, we can increase our reserves and keep our assessments the same, because you know, if we start charging Palm Beach assessments, we're not going to have people living here. They're going to move to Palm Beach if they're going to pay those kind of assessments.
We have to be very careful about that.
Yeah, we have to be careful. We have to maintain we have to find a balance between property value and turning people off where the property values plunge and people that are here stop paying. If they're not paying $351, what do you think the odds are they're going to pay $480? That shuts off all your income.
No, $10 a month, I think nobody would.
Well,
bitch.
$9. We can go to $360.
Well, round it out. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what I would support, but no more.
But Larry, what I'm saying is that may not be necessary. If we save money,
Exactly.
reduce our budget, we can use that savings to
Right.
supplement the capital accounts rather than increase the maintenance
Oh,
structure.
yeah,
Still
exactly.
have
Keep it as
to-
it is.
still have
And
to
it's not
pursue
like
this water
it's not like we have to do everything this
One
year
time.
or next year.
Right.
That's why you
3,
have
4-year
3,
plan.
4-year plans.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why we're working on concrete a little at a time. It'll get done.
Chip away, chip away, chip away.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'll be having a discussion
One
with
thing I'd like
Chris
to
when he gets
suggest-
back. But
In your notations and record keeping, when we have a meeting and we propose an item to go over a period of a couple of years, and we say it's going to take 3 years, the plan hasn't been devised to describe what it is we're going to be doing, other than in a general term. That once we can define it, that we put it into a catalog so that we know, if you're not here, we can look and see what projects were forecasted that we haven't spoken about in a while because We've already allocated them 2.5, 3 years ago. Okay, so we can see what we're doing with that. It's a reference for you and for us. Okay?
Yeah, like I keep all like the proposals we get, I have all different files of different categories, trees, concrete, landscape, and all this kind of stuff. And whether it's a proposal that we acted upon, it doesn't matter. It's there to be able to reference, But
Right, well, like I said, we have to find that fine line where we can balance assessments with property values. Because if we don't, we're all going to be sorry. So, let's, we're going to have a budget workshop and we'll be talking about this
Which
stuff
we have to
in more
plan.
detail. But
Now, I'm going to forward Jeannie's emails to Chris. I did not do that today because I wanted to go over it with all of you.
I'm not even sure he's in town.
Well, he reads his emails.
Yeah.
But I will forward it to all of you too, so you each have Jeannie's answers.
Please,
in writing.
yeah,
Very
please do.
important. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Manager's report, Randall.
all right. Well, as you know, the trees, 12 trees that we had removed have been done.
Yeah, I haven't had time
So-
to look at them. So
But we have to, get some sod down, on those areas.
we have to replace them too.
And, well, we've got to talk about replacing them as well.
Right.
How
How many trees were cut down actually? 12?
12, yeah.
12, okay.
And it was mainly, really, it was
Yeah.
nothing that really went towards what the purpose was. The purpose was the ficus are causing problems. Well, we only took down 2 ficus,
Yeah, I know.
which were 2 problem ficus that were causing problems for units. I'm talking about roots that are underneath the slab up close
Yeah.
to the downstairs toilet.
Yeah.
That has been, been a repeated thing for many years. So those were 2 that went. But the rest of the trees were all just dead wood. That were just ugly sticks that were an eyesore. So it really didn't, help any problem that we have. It just, make the property look a little, yeah. So the next round of trees, and I know John has said something like, "What are you talking about? What next round of trees? What are you taking out?" Well, we have discussed for all this time, and we have a lot of trees that we've been earmarking for removal.
Since
We've just been
16,
dilly-dallying
17,
for
17.
years and years, and we keep knocking, how many trees down, from how many was there at one point? 30-something we were earmarked down to like 18,
We had
down to 10.
160
It's like,
ficus on property last year.
So,
Now we have
anyway,
158, I guess.
we have to...
200. Did you see that?
So we have to start attacking, the ones that are causing problems. But
Right.
the reason why I didn't put them on this first list of removal was because we're about to do some concrete, and some of these earmarked ficus are
Are
ones that are
conflicting
dealing
with
with
concrete
concrete, and we want to be able to get that concrete up, which is getting repaired. Actually, I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Thank you, dear.
Then we'll get to see what these roots are doing.
Thank you.
I printed the whole thing out. So we'll get. I printed the whole thing out. So lifting up this concrete that's about to get repaired, we'll at least get to see some of those ficus roots and see, is this a tree that's really causing some problems, or should we cut it down, or maybe it's not causing a problem, and we won't touch it. So that's what we're kind of waiting for there. So speaking of concrete, October 5th they are starting on the 4 areas. And it'll take them about 2 weeks to complete.
Now, may I ask a
So-
quick question, just quickly on that?
Quickly, please.
Okay, now, some of these have concrete that is definitely ficus roots that are in...
Well, that's what we by looking at it, you would think a reasonable person would,
where you can see the
would
roots
assume-
going toward the concrete.
yeah, but we don't know. That's why I didn't pull them out quite yet. If we're going to do concrete for it, let's
Okay.
get this up and we'll take a look.
But
and
when
see.
each of these trees is cut down, you and or me or Natalia or some board member should be there to evaluate when that tree is cut down.
We're not cutting down
I don't mean
trees.
tree, when that concrete is dug up.
Okay.
One of us should be there to evaluate
Well,
whether...
October 5th is starting, so have at it. go
All right.
out there and check it out.
So we take turns, we'll take turns going out there.
Where's the work being
Yeah,
done?
I can go.
Four
And Joe,
areas.
you probably
We got
time, maybe one day just
54th
go
way,
check all
56th way, 64th way, and two spots that are right next to each other on 66th way.
64th, 66th, and something else.
54th,
Okay,
56th,
now what
64th,
day
56th.
is October the 5th on?
You said the 10th of October.
No, I said October 5th.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know what day of the week
Well,
that is.
okay.
Probably-
Regardless.
So
probably a Monday.
64th, 65th, and 60.
I can video record, show you what.
Yeah,
what
well,
is
I
it.
mean, yeah, I can't take pictures of it, but I do want to
They're
at
on the
least.
manager's report.
Yeah, I do want to be there.
October the 5th is a Monday,
Oh, I work on Mondays, but they're starting on the 5th, so they'll be
but
working.
on the
Tuesday.
6th and 7th, Randall and I will take those days.
I'm
I'm obviously going to be
available.
around there. I'll be checking things out for
Yeah,
sure.
well, no,
but if
but
you all
I-
want to, then
Yeah,
I'm
well,
telling
no,
you
no.
when it's taking
What
place.
I want, if you can't be there because you've got a pending matter that's
Well,
more
I'll be
important,
bouncing around. They'll be there for
any
2
one
weeks.
of us that's available,
But the
like
first
Tuesdays
couple-
and
I
Wednesdays,
personally,
I'm
I
available.
think
Keep
that
it-
Randall's more than capable,
Keep in mind,
and this is why we pay him to do this.
Except Larry, in all due respect, and I do respect him.
well, I could take
Two
pictures.
previous times
I
I
could take
served on the
pictures.
board, when we cut down ficus because the concrete was so badly cracked on people's driveways, parking spaces, entranceways, by the dumpsters, this was not only 50 and 51st, excuse me.
All right.
This was everywhere. And the minute they dug up the tree and went to grind the roots, it was so apparent that the roots had gone under the driveway, under the parking spaces, and that was what caused the cracks. And when the concrete repair was done, in like 2015, whenever those various concrete repairs were done, the minute they dug up the concrete, what were they looking at? Ficus roots this fat. They were like trees
Oh
in
my gosh,
themselves.
you already tell so many times, we're just wasting time.
Well, no, but now it's
Trying
about
to
to
get
happen
through
for the
report.
first time, and I want to
So
be sure
many times.
pictures are taken
Yeah.
after they dig up the concrete
Well,
of
just
what
keep
caused
in
it
mind-
to crack. And Natalia, we want to know what caused it to crack.
Exactly, I will do a video record so you
Well, you don't
can
have to be
see.
the only one. We can all go out and
Okay.
look.
Well,
Okay.
keep
I
in
can go buy
mind.
a roll of film and use my
All
regular
right.
camera.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so
Keep in mind that if you do want to go see, then they'll be tearing up the concrete. That'll be the first thing that they do. So that'll
Right.
probably be the first couple days.
Right.
After that, when they get it all the concrete out, then they got to form the air. Cut it all nice straight. How they're going to do it? Form it. That's going to take a couple more days. Then they got to tamp it, and then
Yeah,
the pouring
I
of
know
the
it's-
And
concrete
you'll
comes
tell
later.
the foreman.
They did very
So-
good
You
job
personally
last
will
time.
tell the foreman. We need to have him make a note of what caused the concrete to crack in each case.
They haven't answered me. I know what you're going to ask. They haven't answered me. I've asked them twice, so I'm going
Maybe
to
October 6th,
pressure
I'll
them
go.
again tomorrow.
You got warranty, right?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
I mentioned it 2 different times, and they haven't actually
Because
responded.
they broke. And
I'll try
Well,
to
it's,
go
it's
on
just the one
Tuesday,
crack.
October
It's
6th.
just the one crack,
Unless
right?
I-
The one.
No, several cracks. They did
I
because
only
they
saw one.
breaking. Huh?
I only saw one.
No, it's not. I sent picture. I sent again,
Well, we'll have to look. Anyway,
and they did it.
well, I pointed it out to them.
It's easy to do. You can make it a little wide. They put concrete there, and you
Okay.
don't need even pick up just right here.
listen, Randall knows what to do. You have something else, Randall, you want to report?
Well, I'm just trying to move on here. Mark is still going with the fences. He's got about 13
Yeah,
left.
it's
He's got
been
13
saying
left.
17 fences for 2 months now. What is the
Yeah.
actual count?
13 now.
Oh, 13, yay!
He better be done by the end of the year, or we're not
I
paying
was
him.
hoping the end of September, which will make it 2 years.
Plumbing. Here's a quick question. I do maybe just quickly verify too. I got an odd plumbing situation that I got Buckeye coming out Monday for. In a soffit, these eaves, right?
Right.
Well, I often notice times where the soffit is, one particular time last year when I was working on the fences, light fell right out of the soffit because it's all rotten there. Well, why is it rotten? Typically because if there's a failure at the edge of the roof, then that water, it doesn't drip inside the unit, it drips down into that soffit. So, and then the evidence you see is rustiness, because the metal framework is really, what that soffit is
You'll also
nothing.
get glycerin. You'll see glycerin.
Yeah, it's like little pitted stuff, you'll see algae will grow, mold and stuff, because there's water there, right? So, but typically that's the remedy is having it, repair that edge, right? Okay. Well, this was a case where I saw it when I first took over earlier in the year. And I quickly had Campany get up there, and say, check this out for me. Well, looking at their history, they were already up there, like last year, to fix that. I said, okay, all right, so I'm not worried about what I'm seeing right now. Well, now, as of like a week ago, there is just water pouring. It wasn't even raining for a week, at least 10 days. Water's pouring, dripping. I'm watching it. It's dripping. It's into the light. It's dripping from
Which light?
The trim work,
Which
security light. And so obviously something's going on. The woman who owns
What
the place.
security light? You mean hers?
No, the ones
The
on
LEDs.
Ours, our new ones that
The
you
new
put
ones,
in.
right.
Oh, a new light. Okay, I'm trying to mental
Right.
picture where it's leaking. Okay.
So bottom line, it turns out that there is the draining system from the plumbing from the unit, right? Which I've seen plenty of from different aspects, but this one I did not see before. It's horizontal drain, right? That's on the outside, it's outside the exterior wall, but inside the mansard, right? So it's horizontal, goes along the building, and there's a couple drains that fall into it, right? Tie into it. Well, it only. I'm giving you too much information. What happened was it separated in there. So that's because when she would turn on her master bath sink, that drain, that water, not anything else, not the shower, not the toilet, not, that master bathroom sink, you turn it on, water flows, and that's what was emptying out into the soffit.
Wow.
So, and I got pictures of it so you can see where it's completely
Wow.
separated. So, that's our responsibility.
Right.
Yes.
So I got Buckeye to come out. Monday they're going to repair that, but then we've got to repair the soffit because they're going to be taking a piece of it out. In the past, I already kind of found, because I want to replace. There's a few areas that are crappy, rotted, like that one that I discovered last year.
Could I?
Let me finish the report.
Sorry. You're right.
So that's rainbow aluminum I can contact, and that's a thin piece of tin, aluminum that's adhesive, to a piece of wood that goes up there, and then there's metal framework. So I'm going to learn this week how that's actually going to get done because we're going to have to replace that. So that was the only plumbing issue that. Can you just save the questions to the end? I want to just
Well, no,
get through
it's
because one
related to
question lasts for
this.
20 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Just wait to the end, and you can ask all the questions you want.
I just have one.
I know, we always say that. It's just one question, I know. So, that's the only plumbing.
It's not necessary
I'm not
to be
trying to be rude. I'm
It's
just
very
trying to
difficult
stop.
talk, please.
All right, please.
You know,
Let's hear the report, then we'll address that question.
Yeah, you just save that thought. Roofing, we've been good on roofing. Pretty good so far, except there is a couple drains that I'm noticing that need to be probably cleared because the water's falling over the side of the roof. There's 2 buildings that I'm aware of right now. So parking, I'll just give you an update on the parking situation. So I rolled out the decal stuff on 50, 51st, and 52nd. And Lord have mercy, did I getting what I bargained for on this project. I needed this like I needed a hole in the head. But, because the issues are, first of all, I have to monitor and make sure it's being implemented, right? So I got to spend a lot of time going out there, looking at cars, making sure they got decals. A lot of them have. But the other problem is our mail. Our mail system is horrible. Some owners are not getting the mail that I mailed them. So, dealing with that. Because I'll put a sticker on a car and they're like, I didn't get any decal. Not to say they're not lying, but there's a couple that I believe them. I honestly believe them. So, there's another one that I don't necessarily believe because they just want to be defiant, but we're working that out. So Anyway, so I'm going to roll out the next two streets, 53rd and 54th, and then, have to monitor and deal with it, how it goes. But it is a lot of work, I know that. But once it's all done, it'll certainly help. And it's going to flush out all these units with 2 and 3 cars, because that's what it's doing already. On the first 3 streets, oh God.
Yeah.
I got people calling me saying, hey, well, can I get a third decal? I got, for my guest space. Like, what are you talking about? The letter explicitly says, a reminder, you cannot park in a guest space as a permanent space. You're only allowed 2 cars, you get 2 decals. Any, undecaled car or guest space that doesn't have, because I'm making them come to me for a guest pass, you're going to get ticketed in tow.
Yeah, this is uncovering a lot of things, including 3 and 4 people in a unit. 2 of them we don't know anything about.
Oh, yeah. So, all right, so parking. All right, now, I'm just throwing this out there because it's something that, it could possibly work for us. I met with a security company last week or earlier this week, Envera, Next Generation Security. They're going to give us a proposal. I gave her the map of our parking map, 19 streets. Now she's asking me she wants me to mark where all the dumpsters are. So, but just a ballpark, just in the conversation, knowing what we need. And I told her there's different things. I go, if it's too much money and we can't afford to do it, or the board doesn't think that we can do this year or next year, or it's just going to get put to the back burner like it has in the past, I go, we can also just consider the entryways of the streets, not the whole community, but ideally that would be great, the parking and the dumpsters. Or if it's too much money, then maybe just the entrance to each street that we can catch cars going in and out. Because they have different things. They have actually license tag cameras, additional from cameras that would be on a post to catch, the area. You've got license tag. They're basically virtual gate guards, and they catch the actual license plate. But anyway, so I had told her we got different options. But at the end of the conversation, I said, listen, I need a ballpark. Give me an idea. Like, well, I don't know. I go, I know you can't. I'm not going to hold you to it. Just give me something. I don't know. I go, 25,000? No, more than that. I don't know, 50,000? No, 100,000? Yeah, about 100,000. Now, if that's the case, that's a drop in a bucket, to do this. So I'm just throwing it out there. It's ripe for a lot of conversation once I get a proposal. I don't have anything yet.
And
but
then
if
we can have them come to the meeting if the proposal's reasonable.
Absolutely. So that was like music to my ears when she said, because that's a drop, even if we special assessed.
So these would be cameras that are specifically monitored by them, not by us. We don't have to
Right,
monitor.
and we have access to the data anytime we want, and it can stay on there for as
But
long as
they
we want.
monitor and report
If we
to
have to
you.
do a special assessment, it's $200 a
We're talking
unit.
about if it's $100, we're talking $100,000. You're talking $200. That's a drop in a bucket, if that's the case. But anyway, I'm just throwing it out there that
Or
I
we
met with
start
them.
with the streets, entrance to the ways, as you said.
Well, actually, we need them for the dumpsters because that's costing us money. Those dumpsters are costing. So if we're not, we go ahead and throw cameras up, and we're not even tackling the real problem. Then why did we do that in the first place? I'd rather, if we're going to do it, let's do it right. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just throwing it out there. Water management, I really, talking with Joe, I really still want to pursue how we can individually meter, because that'll help in budget. We can take $700,000 off the budget. That would certainly help us for sure. Then have to pay our own water, whatever the case
You're
may
going to
be.
send us out a weekly manager's report this week, right? This will all be in it? Because last week you didn't send us one.
Right.
Part of your job, I hate to say it, I know.
Yeah, but also
Let him finish, Mary,
let me
please.
say that
You're
I
records
it's also I may reduce.
Natalia, for God's
Listen,
sake, you interrupt
you
all the
always
time.
interrupt. Let people talk. You ever listen your audio? How you
All I
behave?
did was
Very low.
I'll just throw it out.
Listen audio.
I'll just throw it out there. I may reduce the manager's
It's
report to
not
once a
already-
month
let's get
because it's
results.
not required. Actually, not by time frame. But if there's times I don't do it, there's a good reason, because I am absolutely up here,
Well, that's why you need a secretary.
nothing's changed. So there's nothing to report. That's the whole point. So I'm basically have one ready for tomorrow, but I'm going over it now. I typically don't do a report the next day after a meeting because you already heard it. What's the point of hearing it
And
now?
this, I signed some yesterday, and look.
This right here, do you know how much time this represents? That's about 3/4 of a week's worth of time right there. Just in this, and I've got 20 more on my desk right now. So that right there takes up an enormous amount of my time. So it's not that I'm not reporting it. I will report things that I know you guys need to know. If you're not getting it, it's because there's nothing new. It's the daily grind, daily operations. There's nothing really to talk about other than the stuff that I do on a daily basis.
Well, the trees have been cut down,
Right.
and now we're
Right.
talking about the concrete repairs.
So,
There are
the
things
la-
we need to know. I happen to be
Right.
writing them down because I
Right.
don't want to wait till Natalia does the minutes.
That's kind of about it, I think. And I just wanted to mention that we do want to think about a budget workshop. That's in October.
Right.
So there's 5 Thursdays in October next month. So we're the 3rd Thursday of our regular meeting. So you got to consider a date for the budget workshop.
Prior
There's
to.
5 Thursdays next month.
It doesn't have to be Thursday, it could be a different night.
Well, you got to consider the location. I guess you
Yeah.
can always do it here. I don't know. We got to get with. Is Ron still keeping us out of that Shiloh thing? No more than 5 people still? Yeah.
Are you finished, right?
Yeah, that's
May I ask my question then, going back to
Yes,
plumbing?
go ahead.
Okay. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the mansards themselves, the metal mansards, are still under warranty. They're not 20 years old yet.
That company's out of business, aren't they?
Yeah, they went bankrupt.
They went bankrupt, so we lost our contract with them then. Nobody
well,
bought them?
Well, there's
No one
nothing
took
wrong
over
with the
business?
mansards right now.
No. What I'm saying to you is,
Well, except that they weren't
I had a
installed
question.
properly.
I had a question. The water that you're talking about and that you had Campany and now you're having Buckeye come out on Monday, can that, if it's not corrected, negatively affect the mansard? Is that, or is it
Well,
water
the
running?
soffit part, yeah, because that's all. Because
Okay.
that's wood.
Right.
With on the outer side is a thin piece of aluminum that's glued to that piece of wood, and
Right.
that lays up there. And then there's that those sections are 4 foot by whatever the width of the
Okay.
soffit is, right?
Okay.
And so there's metal framework that
Well,
supports
that's what
that.
I'm wondering. Okay, now, when they went bankrupt, which by the way I didn't know till this minute.
We've said this lots of times. We talked
Yeah,
about the
this
I
roofing
never
issues.
heard.
3 years ago we discussed that. But okay, regardless.
Did anyone buy them?
No.
By what?
Buy them out?
No.
When they filed for bankruptcy?
If they
another
did,
company buy them?
they would open it up under a new name. They wouldn't assume their
Well, no, but
liabilities.
I was wondering what.
Not if they're
what-
smart.
Well, I was wondering, and I don't want to give Rawson any money, but.
I don't know
was-
what the state laws are here in Florida,
Sorry?
but in New York, okay, I had an instance where I had
Could
a
be
licensed
Licensed
contractor who did some work for me and they were faulted. And then he turned around and went belly up on me
Right.
and never paid me back the funds that I had paid him.
Right.
So I thought I was out of it. And then I went and did a little inquiry. And I
Right.
found out that in Suffolk County, but it was also in the state of New York, when you license, there is a fund set up. And you're allowed to recover, I think it was up to $5,000 or $6,000. Okay, well, I recovered my $5,000. Okay, and it cost me a couple $100 in sheriff fees, and I had to go out. They do the submission of the, what do they call it, the legal documents that they
Right.
tried to deliver. So they do all of that on their own, and you have to wait a minimum time.
I
But the
remember
bottom
this.
line is, they paid me. Got a check from the state.
That's why I was
Now,
asking,
I don't
are
know
we
whether or not
protected?
Florida has anything like that, but I'm sure what we're talking about with what you're talking
And
about,
that year's a private residence, right?
that was a private residence.
Yeah. See, in Florida, Joe, I hear all these things on the TV about people that spend thousands of dollars to get a swimming pool put in. They get a hole in the ground, and that's all they get, and they're stuck with it. So I doubt very seriously, but we could check it out.
Well, I think it's worth looking into, because if we're going to be laying out let's just say this is the first of several similar incidents that are going to happen with our buildings because the mansards were put in.
Well, let me go a step further. Even if there is a slush fund, that wouldn't be considered a warranty item. It's our problem. It's our drainage pipe.
Well, that
There
was,
you go.
no, but that's why I was asking, can this or is this negatively affecting the mansards that I thought we still had under warranty? That was the question.
You know, I
So
do-
Buckeye could say to you, yes, if we don't address this issue quickly, it could affect the mansard, blah, blah, blah. Or he could say,
Well,
no, it
No,
shouldn't
it
be.
has already affected the mansard. The
Yeah, we
mansard
know
there
it's
you
going
go.
to affect, but it's not the fault of the
We have
roof.
blueprints of
No, it doesn't matter.
structures.
We had a
Well, actually, this
a
woman who
contract
owns this
with them
unit,
that if
I bet you
anything
she
went
comes
wrong
up with
with
it
the
because she's a smart
mansards
cookie.
for
and
any
she,
reason,
For any
actually,
reason?
it was
she
very
is.
specific. That's why I'd love to find it and go back.
She knows she knows the Basta like personally. She told me she's going to get after him and see if she can get plans for the building of these damn places.
Because the thing that I'm concerned about is I'm wondering how many pipes like that are in, or are they all designed like that, which I would think they would be. I don't know why they make one exception, one unit.
Well,
I would think they're all the same.
I did not know. I was taken back when I saw this because I've had to deal with so many so far where, you know, I know there's a P trap in the inside your living room, that soffit that's in. Well, that's there because it's covering up drainage pipes from
That's where
upstairs.
the toilets go through. That's
So-
sewage.
Well, but there's all of that, all included, all, you know,
Yeah,
goes
shower
through there,
water
so
goes
it
through
goes
that, too.
into the exterior wall and then, you know, connects to the drain that goes down into the sewage line and out, right? So all that ties into one thing. But I never saw this horizontal pipe before, so I don't know. It doesn't surprise me if, things were just done differently.
Well, it would just
because
be
seems like-
interesting to be able to find out. Joe, to answer your question, all 4 phases are not identical. DeVosta, when he built phase 4, which is where I live, he changed the interior and and that affects the pipe, the drainage. For example, you live in what, 60-something?
61.
All right, so when you walk upstairs, to your left is the door to the bathroom, the second bathroom.
No, yes. Well, you'd have to go through the children's room.
Oh, okay, so you have
You
that.
walk right, if I walk
Mine's the same way as yours. I don't know, maybe the early ones.
Yeah, the
I
early
think
ones were
maybe
done one
Sandalwood
way.
On
North
phase
have them
1,
like that.
Huh?
and that's one of the subtle differences. I'm in phase 1. That bathroom door is at the top of the stairs.
Right,
It's not in
right.
the bedroom.
Exactly, and in phase 4, it's in the bedroom, the second bedroom. Is yours door to the bathroom in the second bedroom?
Mine's in the second bedroom.
So phase 1 is the one that was built differently, and then
One of them
he,
doesn't have central vac.
Well,
yes.
a couple. I don't have central vac. I had a wall in the kitchen that went all the way up at the end of
Like Sally
the
had,
sink
yeah.
island. Goes all the
Oh,
way
yeah.
up to the ceiling. Other phases don't have that. It's open at the end.
Right.
Did you have fans in your unit, in your bed, in the living room?
Exhaust fan or ceiling fan?
These fans. Ceiling fans.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
But
right,
I
well,
know that
listen,
they didn't have central vac.
Natalia has a report to give her.
One question.
All right, go
One,
ahead.
very important about this decals. Maybe it will be the best if you send by certified letter. Did you send by certified or not?
No, are you kidding me? That's with the expense of that.
Huh?
You know what the
No,
expense of that
no.
is? No, Larry and I were talking about it. Probably a better idea is have them come to the office and pick them up.
Send them just plain letter that they will pick up your decal. If you not pick up decal during 15 days,
Well, if they're not
your car
getting
will
the
be
decals,
towed.
then they're not going to get that letter.
Oh my
Right?
God.
You
No,
know what
I
I'm saying?
still think we need to have them
They're
come to
getting
the
a letter
office.
with decals in them. But if they're not getting the decals, then you're saying,
But-
hey, send a letter to come pick them up.
It's
Well, what if they
very
don't get the
rare.
letter? Anyway, it's not that, I don't know.
Very rare.
We'll get it
people
resolved.
to
I'm going to
We'll
see
get
what
it
the
resolved.
percentages
We're gonna-
are. If I get a lot of that, these next 2 mailings, the next 2 streets, then I'll probably have to tell people, come and pick them up. But the problem with that is, I mail them to the owners, not to the tenants. The owners are responsible for getting the decals to their tenants. Some tenants live in New York, California, North Carolina, You know,
The tenants can still come and pick them up. You just send the owner a letter that you're going to have the tenants come and pick up decals because they're required now for parking.
Actually, I wouldn't send it to the owners. If they were rental units, I would simply send a letter saying, tell your tenant to come to your office and pick up the parking tickets.
Yeah, but like Randall said, some of them, they would never respond.
You know, Larry, this is the issues with this thing. It's these numbers that we have assigned has been from the day one when I moved here an issue, and they obviously were problematic then, and that's why they were not pursued.
well, I'm persistent. I'm going to make sure it works out.
Yeah, he's like a bird dog. He's on it. So we'll
But in
see.
51st way, everybody already have decals or not, or still people laying down.
No, well, there's one that I know for sure didn't have a decal. Another one dropped one on the ground, and then when you go to pick it up, it's stuck together, so they need another one. But most of them got them. You know, they're on, because I go check the cars. Most of the cars have them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 52nd,
And the ones who don't have them on have something to hide. You better believe it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I flush out. Like right now, let me say this real quick. Did you know that old Mr. Bill Burns has had somebody living in his place for like a year?
friend, yeah.
I've never seen this person ever. Well, doing this decal stuff flushes that kind of stuff out. Guess what I found out?
What?
This guy's been living there for a year, never been approved by the association. Bill just let him move in as like a roommate. It's not allowed. You got to go through the association. Well,
no,
Patrick-
excuse me.
That's a
He's
sublease.
a renter. No, he's a renter. He needs to go to Patrick Udelhoffen
Well,
and
actually-
tell Patrick
Well,
that
Patrick-
he's moved.
Well,
he
Patrick,
has-
Patrick knows.
Well, then it's Patrick's
Patrick's
job.
responsible.
It's Patrick's
Udelhoffen's
responsibility,
Well,
not
I
Bill
didn't
Burns'.
say that it was Bill's responsibility to tell me. I'm just saying,
You
Yeah.
found out.
Well, his girlfriend and he broke up. So
So-
let me say this to you, which you don't know, that his girlfriend, Gaitha, who I've known from the Philippines, Gaitha lived with him for all the years that Bill and I have lived on that street. And they broke up a year and a half ago or
Sin
so.
City.
and he still has her car or something. 'Cause
Well, they take
he's
turns.
got 4 cars. He said he's selling
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he better. Or he'll see him at the
Yeah,
pound.
but the point is that, so he wanted companionship.
Oh my God.
Is that right? Oh my goodness.
They said rain this afternoon.
Oh, you know, it's something else I kind of forgot to mention. Sorry, I did forget to mention if you want to.
Yeah.
We're not going to continue this.
In 2 different.
Gather.
All right, we can. They're not going to bother us.
Yeah.
So, in 2 different managers' reports over 2 different weeks, the previous couple weeks, I had included information, and nobody has said a word about it. One was about our insurance agent. Is asking if we want to include this program. There's no cost to it. Has to do with in case of complete devastation of the units. But nobody has said a word about it. It's not
Well, I
surprising.
thought that would be up to Larry to read it and to address
The other-
all of us
the
and
next one,
discuss it.
the next one was about free COVID-19 testing. Did you
Yes.
see that one?
Yeah.
So nobody mentioned it, but there's this company
It's not
wants.
free testing, it's your insurance.
No, it's free for you. You're going to get tested. They end up getting paid whatever the case may be. But it's free for you if you want to get tested. Just like free, all this testing for all this time. I've been tested 3 times now. It's all been free for me,
Okay.
for everybody.
All right,
So-
getting back for a minute, getting back to the J. Marcus and
Yeah.
the insurance that's free. I intend to talk to Jay about that. If it's free, is it free forever or is it free for the first year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't dove into
Because
it, but
I don't want suckered into something that we're going to end up paying dearly for later on.
Exactly.
So that's why I haven't mentioned it, because I haven't talked to
I
Jay.
figured you would be the one that would delve into it.
Yeah, and I answer because I was sure that it will be cash, because nothing for free.
Right.
And another question, what is a timer box? You all the time, every
Yeah, it's because nothing's been done with it. I keep it there to remind. It's over on.
but what we can do, so many
Well,
months.
I actually kind of fixed it, but what it is, it's a little electrical box for the irrigation, and the wires were falling out because the bottom of the box is all rusted out. I made it so the wires aren't hanging out. So, but it should be replaced. It's a small electrical box. I thought maybe I could do it myself, but kind of looking at it, I thought, I don't think that's for me to do.
Okay, but could we buy one, order one and buy it, and then have an electrician, a licensed
Just get
electrician
an
install
electrician,
it?
you're gonna have to have an electrician do it anyway.
Well, we could order it and not.
Yeah,
How do we know we're getting the right one?
Well, you just take that one out, look
Well,
at
I
this
can go to
model
Home
number,
Depot.
and,
It's just a box. It's
yeah, and
not-
there's
it's
a
just
model number on it or something.
Okay, and then it's,
But anyway, if we could order
There's a
it
breaker.
and only
Good.
have an electrician charge us just to install it.
He's gonna charge you to install it.
Yeah, but that's cheaper
Mr.
than
Roy, we
ordering
would
it.
like
All right, we're going to have to move on
You know,
here.
they mark them up.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah, exactly. How about double?
what we will talk? We will talk about trees or hedges.
Well, start with the hedges.
Mary Lou asked how I determined the number of shrubs to replace. Joyce said that 28 plants were put around every unit. However, in some places it's only 20, 25, and the shrub planted very loosely. We should plant as a minimum of 30. As you can see on my video and the document that I sent to the board members, the majority of hedges are dead, dying, or sick with white or black fungus and should be treated with fungicide as soon as possible. We will lose all hedges and will spend more money to replace them. For now, we need to plant as minimum 2,054 shrubs which white fly resistant and drought resistant. We have a lot of irrigation problem. I do not know how they do all this irrigation checkup 2 times a month. We have so many places where have no irrigation at all. I talk with all these many residents who lost all these hedges. They're very disappointed, and they say they never even hear when sprinkle go off. Now they not. You can see on the pictures how many we have missing or dead or dry hedges. Can you imagine what happens if we will raise our fee and we don't provide beautiful hedges around people's house? I send you report. You can watch light video. You can read all this document. And another big problem, our landscapers using non-selective herbicides. On the back of that document, what I give you, on the back they says about non-selective herbicides. They're killing everything. If you see when you look at this video, you can see on the pictures that grass and weed growing very close to the root, to the stem of the hedge. And if you spray with herbicide, the small plant, this is why they're so sick and dying, because if they have not enough irrigation, plus they put herbicides around them. And on herbicide instruction, I brought with me, if somebody doubt, they say it's non-selective only on unwanted shrubs. It's harmful for humans and animals. You can read everything, it's what they send us. All this information that they never put notices when they spraying. They spraying very sneaky. When nobody see them, one person walk around and spray hedges with herbicides. They try save money on their workers, don't have enough workers to really remove all this grass around and weed, but now we must pay money for replacing all these hedges. If you look at that video, you can see what severe situation we have. Every picture was taken from different location, different place, different house. Look at it's disaster. And thank you very much to Mr. Roca that he started talking about that, because it's really embarrassing.
Yeah. Now, I have a question to tell you. I have never seen them spray herbicides around my hedges. As a matter of fact, I'm always pulling weeds out of my hedges.
Me too.
Because you see video when
Yeah,
he's spraying herbicide. Yes,
Yeah.
2 times already I caught him
They
doing
must
that.
be spraying them in some areas, but they never spray them around me.
Because of your president. They
I
stopped
don't-
spraying around me because I'm very vocal about that.
Yeah.
They stopped spraying it because when they spraying, we tied to this watering our plants because everything was dying, everything was yellow.
Well,
Yeah,
Randall and I are going to have a meeting with Jeff,
It's too
and
serious.
I'll get to the bottom of it.
I'd love to be
And we're
part
going-
of that if you allow me to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is
More
what
than
instruction. This is what
May
he
I
uses.
just jump in 1 minute, just for
Why is
time?
everything a conspiracy now? Everything is that they're doing this deliberately because they're cutting corners or they're doing that. Why do
I
you
think they're doing
suspect?
the best job.
You've done this with every landscaper we've had since I've been on this board.
Yeah, I agree.
Listen, we're not here to
Yeah,
cast
but-
We're
aspersions.
talking about herbicides, non-selective herbicides, killing our.
Yeah.
Look at
Hold
video.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
has
We're
to be
gonna
Mr. Roca,
address
did you
questions.
see my slideshow?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw it.
Yes.
Listen,
Yeah.
she did a lot of very hard work.
And I said it in the email that.
Yeah, I know you did, and I don't want anybody, myself included, accusing her of anything
No,
because she's the hardest worker of all of us.
yeah, I agree, 110%.
So I want to listen to what she has to say and address her concerns.
Yeah, I just want.
Whether she's criticizing all the landscapers or not, she obviously feels that she should. Now, I have to say that this particular landscaper is the best we've ever had,
I agree.
and he's the most reasonable. But if there's issues, we need to address them and get them resolved.
And he's listening to us.
Let's not criticize each other. We're trying to work as a team.
No,
to
we're not. We're having somebody submit to you a report that indicates that these guys are cheating us and not doing the work that we're paying for.
I'm not
And
saying.
she's also, wait a minute.
I'm not saying
also-
she's right.
Larry, I would like to finish.
Go ahead.
She's also a non-professional, offering professional recommendations on issues that she is not able to do.
Listen, I sent you the video where I showed
Your
that
video doesn't-
he using herbicide.
Your video
I've
doesn't
seen
mean
you the
anything.
video.
If you want to have this, what you should do is meet with Jeff and present your questions to him.
Right,
And
that's
have
what-
him address them. I can't address them, nor can anybody else here. We're not
That's what I'm
capable.
saying. That's why
But
I
your opinion
said.
is that everything that's done
It's not
is
my
done
opinion. It's
superficially.
not my opinion. In scientific opinion, because I talked in Palm Beach with very famous landscapers, with millionaires landscapers. I talked with them. They never use herbicides like that. They never use them. It's all.
Same fungi that's on.
Florida University. What they say, I give you this paper.
Right.
They say that they kill everything. What they doing? This is why when you look at when they spray around hedges, if it's grass or weed, everything, and plant become yellow on the next day.
I haven't
You
seen
can
it
see
online.
pictures. You can see
May I
video.
jump in, just say something?
Because
All
for
right,
me,
all right. I'm recognizing Mary Lou. Everybody else be quiet for a minute.
Okay, just quickly, Natalia, from my own observations, in reading this very good report, her house number, her everything, printing it out, watching the videos, fortunately, or unfortunately, I wasn't busy at work today. The thing that I've been noticing at my house, and on 51st, is not only are the hedges, the branches, the roots, everything that's exposed, covered with what I call fungi, but so are our trees. You can go to any tree on 51st and stand there, and from the grass all the way up to the branches, as far as you can see, be it a ficus, a maple, an oak, a poinciana, there are white fungus. I put that out of my car here. The trunks of the trees here have fungi on them.
Do you know where fungus
but
grows?
they not drying.
Which side of
Ficus
the tree
not drying.
Which side of the tree does fungus grow on?
I forgot.
On the north
We're gonna
side.
get you answers.
Okay,
Right.
that's north.
Right,
Okay.
right. But
Why
here's
is
the
that?
point.
Because it's dark.
Here's the point, that if we have fungi growing on trees,
So if you're in the woods and you're north.
then the issue with our hedges dying may be partially
Boy
due to
Scout thing?
fungi,
That's a hunter's thing.
okay, that is not being addressed. They may need to be sprayed with something to kill the fungus. With the permission of the board of directors 15 years ago, when they had removed, Susie Parham took out my dead ficus hedge. There was nothing but sticks. And then she skipped, because she wasn't well, she skipped doing 51st on the final of 4-year plan. Then I got on the board and we did 51st and 50th. We got them done with new hedges. But meanwhile, my husband, at our expense of over $500, and he on his hands and knees, planted that hedge, which has survived, but it has fungi on it.
When you're talking about this fungi, is that white stuff that's on the branches of the thing?
Right, and it's on the trees, our trees.
Yeah.
But they're not dying. Trees
I
not
have
dying
lived
from
here
that.
from the beginning of this.
Well, I'm here 30 years.
I have seen that stuff on those shrubs.
Yeah.
Shrubs. You look at my shrubbery that I have.
Oh,
and I
you
have
go.
probably one of the most complete hedges in the community.
Okay.
Okay? And there's nothing, that stuff is not killing anything because you can see it growing throughout everything. It is either a natural phenomena of the.
Oh my God. You did not see video. How it is all this.
I didn't call you an idiot.
I can't believe it.
I'm making a statement.
We're going to, I told Natalia, we'll meet with Jeff, Randall and I, Mary Lou, and Natalia's welcome.
Well, we
to
can't
see-
be a majority of the board, so if
Well,
Natalia
well,
wants
then
to
you
all bow
and
out,
Randall
we'll
and
bow out.
you and Randall.
Well, we three would be a majority.
Yeah, well then I'll bow out.
No, you have to be there, you're the president.
I did because I did not finish my report. I want to tell, if we will invite contractor, they will say anything to protect his point of view. Because of that, it documents what is the science, okay?
Just keep in mind.
This is what factory put on that product, what he used, okay? And
That's
when
'cause
you,
we're a litigious society,
this is
just trying to protect
Florida
ourselves.
University, okay? Florida University, that is exactly it is source. And when you talk with our arborists, with scientists, not talk about with contractors, always protect himself in his point of view.
Yeah.
This is when you talk
Why
with
don't you go to
science.
the Polo Club and
scientists.
ask them what they're doing over there?
Yeah.
Go look at their
Oh, I know
go
the
look at
Polo
their
Club. It's
shrubberies and
pristine.
go see what's
I
going
know,
on over
and
there.
He works in the Polo Club. The guy
Well,
that
and
works
I
for-
have a friend who's part of the PGA golf course.
But it have more
I'm just saying,
manpower.
Jeff does the
It means-
landscaping for
The
the
only-
Polo
Jeff
Club.
Cohen, I know he does.
The
Why
only-
he not use
I
selective?
Googled his
Mary
company.
Lou, why he does not use selective herbicides? Not because
This
it's cheaper.
is a question.
Selective, the
If you
non-selective
meet
kill
with
everything.
them, Or you give that to Randall and he gives it to
We've
Jeff.
already
and
had
He
let-
this
has it.
discussion.
He has it
Okay.
because they send us.
I mean, Jeff, we've already
Well,
had it. We've
here's
already talked
the
about it.
thing.
And he stopped
It's black
using
and
it.
white.
So
We
they
told him
stopped
to.
using it, so why are we
Because
discussing?
they
we
did
asked
not
them
stop
to.
it. They did
Huh?
not
Now,
stop it.
because we asked him to.
Right.
But he
We
uses
asked-
it.
I'm only going to
uses it
say
everywhere.
one thing.
You saw video.
These companies put these warning labels on these
Everything.
products
To cover their
to
butt.
protect themselves against
course.
loss.
But Mr. Rock, I sent you the previous video where you see today they spray, tomorrow it's all dry. Did you see grass dry?
Well,
You
Joe's-
saw the video.
Yeah.
You
Joe's
saw it.
point is that his hedges are like, I don't know how they are as nice as they are, but they're getting the same treatment as everywhere else, and his are not dying.
And mine is growing and
Well, you got
thriving.
new
have all
ones. He's
different
got the
hedges.
originals.
Yeah.
He's got the original,
Ficus, the original ficus.
and they're
Wow.
like they're
Wow.
We
There's
have all different.
Yeah.
only a handful
Listen, we
in the
have so
whole
many
community
different.
of
Listen, did you watch video or not?
I didn't get a chance.
Okay, when you watch
I'll
video,
watch
you
it,
will
I'll
see.
watch it, I'll
You will
watch it.
see, you will understand.
Okay.
Palm Beachers are going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to have their property and their hedges and their shrubbery and their
Yeah.
grass to be pristine, and
I
they pay
ask
for
for
that.
not damage.
And
I ask not damage. It costs us money. It
And,
costs us
and
a lot of
Natalia,
money.
I was reading today that hedges should have a phosphate fertilizer to make, and it should be put on in the spring to get them through hot, dry weather. And we don't do any fertilizing.
Okay, we can do fertilizing, but now we need to replace them because of some people you saw it's disaster.
Yeah, and as far as the sod, we need sod instead of, like along the sidewalks where there's hedges, there's nothing but dirt.
I know. That's a big
We
thing I
need sod
hate.
put down there to help absorb so these people's
But,
patios
Exactly.
don't flood.
I agree.
Mine were good way before Jeff came along.
I a couple of times.
Mine
a
are
year,
good,
I've said,
because
"What's
mine are new and they're coming in nicely. And by the way, those are the ones that I'm getting the prices for, is the Arbicola.
The Abacola is a nice hedge. That's what I have
That's
in
what
my,
I'm
inside my
getting the prices for, which they call it, you have it on there
But this
as
is what I talk
the
about. This is
green
what inside your house.
shableka,
Yeah.
whatever it's
Yeah.
called. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
it's
We can
Arbicola.
put
And they're
the,
very hardy.
yeah,
And I even had them put in around our maintenance
And they
shed.
don't require a lot of water.
yeah, because
And they
what
don't need
you
a lot
have-
of water.
Yeah, we need something so it's drought resistant,
White fly
And they're
resistant.
soft.
fire resistant, everything. Yeah.
They're soft, they bend with the wind.
Are we done?
I have fun, my flowers are coming back.
I went to Home
Because
Depot,
when you walk around,
spoke to
people
one
so
of the guys.
disappointed. I was so embarrassed because for them, if the hedges, if they not watering, our hedge is dry. It's so terrible. We're paying so much money, and I like slap on my face. Because of reputation, it's very difficult to earn, very easy to lose.
Mary Lou.
For me, my reputation most important. For you, probably, I do not know.
Well, listen,
We'll chat again.
We're gonna-
With, Jeff.
He's been willing to work with us very nicely.
He will continue use this herbicide, speak with scientists. And this
Oh,
is
we're the
what
ones who told him to do it again.
scientific
I just gave him the
opinion.
green light to do it.
Did we cover new business and everything, or did we just stop?
no,
Well, we
we're
went
done.
through everything.
Did we?
We went through
Okay.
everything.
The agenda, I stopped writing.
Is it,
was getting, crazy.
Adjourn?
Yeah, so, well, we're gonna adjourn, but I just wanna say that
Oh, next Tuesday night, is that a majority going to want to meet for that special meeting?
I have no problem with any Tuesday.
I prefer
What
the
special
following.
meeting?
Yeah,
Oh, wasn't he included in that email?
no.
Oh, a budget workshop meeting. Just the board, just the board. Well, you would be more, I mean, you would be there.
He's more than welcome, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
Because
so,
he's a homeowner and our manager.
Yeah.
oh, so
Well,
you've already talked about having a date, because that's what I mentioned. I go, there's 5 Thursdays in
well,
October.
Chris, well, this was for September, for next Tuesday night.
Oh,
And then I suggested the following Tuesday night, which is like the 29th or something. Giving Chris more time to
that's okay.
look at what Jeannie said and maybe rework his proposed budget.
Yeah.
And maybe get together with Jeannie. So that's why I'm suggesting we put it off
Don't
for
cry.
the special.
You work too hard to
For
cry.
the second.
And then you cry, I'm gonna
Not
cry,
this
so
coming
don't.
Tuesday, but the following one.
But listen,
A Tuesday night.
we do have to work together as a board.
Yes.
We don't want to be arguing back and forth. We're going to have different opinions. I
Right.
understand that.
Of course.
But Natalia has been talking about this for a long time. She's done a lot of research.
Yeah.
And I think she deserves, as a homeowner, and especially as a board member, to get her concerns addressed. I'm not saying she's right. I'm not saying she's wrong. But let's address them and see where we're going with
Are we
this.
going to do this board meeting, special board meeting here?
Well, we're going to have a budget workshop, and this is the only place I know we can have it.
To do it. Let me see what I can find out. Okay?
Okay.
See if I can get them to give a shower.
I mean, I'd rather be
Since
in
we're
air
only,
conditioning, but
You know, a small group, we can keep the necessary distance.
Well,
Well, I think-
if I
Not
don't,
have-
if I
not
don't
have
go,
outside.
then it's just the 5 of you, and that's allowed in that room. 5
A
people.
special meeting, but there's a, guest homeowners are invited to a special meeting, except, there's one exception, I can't think
Well,
what it is.
that's for personnel,
Well, right now, the
or
exception is.
it's
they
personnel
can't
decisions
gather
and,
in just
Yeah.
one
you know,
area. So we have to say,
Well, if we're
attorney-client
5,
privilege stuff.
we could allow the first 4 homeowners to come, because that would be 9, and I think you're allowed to meet in groups of 12.
listen.
Phase
if
They're
we're gonna
only
get the
allowing
room,
5.
We're going to have to tell them, we're going to be in compliance with the rule of West Palm Beach. 5 people will be in the room and there'll be equal distance. We can't start talking about outside.
Well, no,
We haven't had
and
anybody
we don't
here
need to
tonight.
have, listen, we
don't
don't
need
have to have homeowners there
No.
because this is a board budget workshop and
They don't have to be there.
the
No,
Palm
I'm just
Beach
saying,
County
let's be sure we do
restricts
it by
them
the book.
being
It can be
there.
it can be a closed meeting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, let's be sure we do it by the book, so there's no crap.
Yeah, yeah, we have to abide
All
by
right,
what
we
Palm
have
Beach
a
County says.
motion,
All right, I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I second it.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned.